Hey everyone, Katie from literacylearn.com here. Welcome to today's PD and Pieces where we will be talking about the cat-kite rule. And this is a rule that tells us how to spell the k sound at the beginning of a word. Let's get to it. We call this the cat-kite rule because it has to do with the letter C, like cat, and the letter K, like kite. So both of these graphemes make the same sound. They both represent the k sound in words. So when we hear that k sound at the beginning of words, how do we know which one to use? Do we use C or do we use K? There's actually a really simple rule. It's called the cat-kite rule, and it tells us which sound to use at the beginning. Which grapheme to use at the beginning when we hear that k sound. So the rule is K takes I and E, C takes the other three. And you can kind of make it a cute little jingle. K takes I and E, C takes the other three. And what are the other three? It's the other three vowels, A, O, and U. So you can draw these little pictures as mnemonic devices. The C has the A, O, and U within the letter. And then the K has an I and E. And basically what we do is if the vowel that follows this C or K is an A, O, or U, you use a C. If it's an I or an E, you use the K. So we'll continue talking more about this. A little bit more about the cat-kite rule, looking at specifically the letter C. Remember, the letter C takes the other three. What are those other three? A, O, and U, plus consonants. So that'll be important as you get to blends. Okay, let's look at some examples. So where we have the words cat, cab, and candle, we hear short A sounds coming after the k sound. So k, at, or k, ab, or k, andle. Okay, so we hear that a sound, which means that what are we going to use to spell the k sound that comes right before it? We're going to use the letter C. Same thing with words like caught, cob, and conduct. Because we hear the ah sound, which is represented by the letter O, we're going to use the C to spell the k sound. Same thing with words like cut, cub, and cuddle. What is the letter that comes right after that k sound? It is the U sound. So we're going to spell the k with a C. Now, also, as you introduce this to older kids, as you're introducing blends, you're also going to teach them that anytime a consonant sound comes after the k, you're going to spell it with a consonant blend that starts with a C, like clot or crab. So there's the letter C. Now let's talk about the letter K. K takes I and E. So if we think about the vowel sound that comes after the k sound in words like keep, key, ken, or kettle, you hear both short or long E sounds. So we're going to know to spell the word with a K because K takes E. Same thing with the letter I or I sounds that comes after it as well. So the words kid, kit, kind, or kitten, whether it's short or long, K is going to take that letter I. So we spell these words with the letter K. So let's try it using a few words. We have our anchor chart. You can provide this to your students and then giving them examples of words with the k sound left off forces them to look at the letter that comes immediately after the k sound and then apply the rule. So for example, in a word like cab, how am I going to spell the word cab? Well, let's take a look. I see the letter A on that cat's face, and so I'm going to spell it with a C. Cab is spelled C-A-B. Let's look at the next word, kit. What letter am I going to use to spell the k sound? I'm going to use the letter K because K takes I. So we're going to spell kit, K-I-T. Let's look at the word kick. How am I going to spell the k sound? If you know the rule, then you know you have to spell it with a K because, again, K takes I. So we're going to spell kick, K-I-C-K. And then if we look at the word cuff, how are we going to spell the k sound? Well, C takes the letter U. So we're going to spell it with a U. So doing this with your students is really helpful, really impactful, and it will help them to know how to spell many, many words correctly. No guessing is involved. They can actually apply this rule to spell words accurately. So thank you so much for joining us and come back soon.